let's get going. So the first thing we're going to start with, nice and steady, let's just get everything moving. We're going to come down to seated. We've done this one numerous times before. We're just going to go windscreen wipers with the feet. So if you need to hold on to the knees to keep the movement coming from the ankle, then do that. So side to side. And then once we've done a couple more of those, we're going to go into forwards and back, so toes away and back towards us. So we should feel a nice lengthening of the calves there. Okay, good. And we're going to go back to side to side. And then back into forwards and back. Alright, nice. And we're going to link them all together. We're going to go round clockwise, both feet. Push them as far away as you can, pull them as close towards you as you can. Clockwise, let's do 4 more rotations. Okay, and then back in the other direction, so anti-clockwise. Okay, lovely. Okay, great. From there, for 10 reps total, we're just going to pull each individual knee close into the chest. Let's remind these hips and these knees that's what they need to be able to do. This is going to help our squat depth. Pull them in. Okay. Once we've done our 10, we're just going to bring our feet out to 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock here. And just really gently then, we're just going to do some very slight twists, trunk rotations. Nothing too wild. Okay, 4 more, so 2 on each side. 3, 4, okay, good. We're going to bring those heels in together and closer to us, keeping our hands square behind us, and we're just going to start rocking those knees from side to side and continue to go a bit further with the aim then of getting them down to the floor. Okay, good. And then from there, we're going to come down to laying on the floor. We're going to go for 10 hip thrusts. So squeeze those glutes. Get them nice and high. Okay, and once we've done that, we're going to go up for glute march for 10 reps total. So we're going to get those hips high, and we're just going to squeeze one knee in towards the face at a time. Nice and gentle. Okay, lovely. When you've done that, get your bum back down to the floor and just come up onto hands and knees. Gonna get that back warmed up now. So we're going to go for 8 on each side. We're just going to look and point towards the ceiling and then get that arm underneath. A nice bit of warming for the upper back, chest, shoulder and lower back as well. So 8 on each side. Once you've done your 8, change sides. Okay. Okay, good stuff. And then once we're done there, we're going to come down to hands and knees again. I'm going to go for 10 cat-cows, so that's driving the spine up into the ceiling, looking down towards the knees, and then driving the belly button down towards the floor, looking forwards and ranging between the two, giving that back a really nice bit of movement. Okay, keep working through, drive that back up, drive it down. Couple more. Okay, great. From there, let's just stay in that nice square hands and knees position. We're going to work on the elbows and the wrists a little bit. So from here, keep those hands planted to the floor. We're going to twist that inner part of the elbow so it's pointing from forwards to towards back. So it's going forwards there, and towards back, forwards, towards back. Okay, so you're not going to get it to point backwards, but at least inwards. Grip the floor with your hands. Okay, 4 more of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, keep those hands planted to the floor. We're then going to pulse those palms off the floor. So just the fingers, tips and the thumbs stay connected with the floor. Going to pulse up and down there. Okay, good. And then finally, unless you've got any wrist issues, we're just going to turn those hands so they're facing as close to fingers pointing backwards as possible. If you're getting pain, then take it really steady and don't point them as far back. And then we're just going to rock forwards and back really gently, just so we get a nice bit of stretch up through the inside of the forearm and the inside of the wrist there. Okay, nice and gentle. Okay, a couple more of those. And just return those fingers back to forwards. Last one then. We're just going to, for 8 reps total, we're just going to sit those hips through to the floor and come back into a nice stretch here. And we should just be able to get those hips a little bit lower each time as we warm up into it a bit. So hips down, lower back. As we send ourselves back, think about stretching out those lats in your back, pushing those hands down to the floor. Okay, 2 more of those, then we're going to stop and just grab a drink for a sec. Okay, excellent. Grab a drink before we move on. Okay, so we did this last week. We're going to do it again because I think it was quite effective and it's really nice for the hips. It takes a bit of time, but there's good benefits from it, okay? So we're going to use the 90-90 movement. So that's where we start, feet there. And then as you know, then we're going to turn over onto the left side. Chest comes down over that knee. We're going to switch over to the right. Chest comes down over the knee. And we're going to do that for 20 reps total, so it's going to be 10 on each side. Then we're going to go into a 2-minute hold in that 90-90 position on each side. And then we're going to repeat it afterwards and see how much better we feel after we've done 40 90-90s, alright? So if we start working through those 90-90s now, just be aware that you do move around the room a little bit. So if you need to reposition yourself away from something, then feel free. So it's going to feel quite tight to begin with. As things warm up a bit, try and get a little bit lower down over that knee. Okay, I think that's about 10. Going for 20 total. I've definitely moved across the room here. Okay, a few more. Let's call it 4 more now, wherever we are. Okay, good stuff. Okay, so we're gonna go into that 2-minute hold now on each side. So what we want is to get back into that 90-90, it doesn't matter which side you start on. And we're gonna set our chest down then over that front knee. If you can get elbows to the floor, head to the floor, whatever. Let's get a nice big stretch through there, okay? And we're gonna start that in 5, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and we're over that front knee. Now try and relax into it. Sink your upper body down through that front knee and really feel that stretch through the outside of that front leg, through the glute. Well, and we're going to stay down here for 2 minutes. Nice deep breathe in. Take a moment for yourself to relax. As you relax into it, if you can sink lower, keep pushing yourself to get that bit lower. Okay, we're well into the last minute now. See if you can sink a bit lower for the last 30 seconds. Okay, 10 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently return back up. We're going to take 30 seconds of rest, rest from that. 30 seconds just to rock your hips around and get ready to go down for 2 minutes on the other side, okay? But towards the end of that, it should have started feeling quite loose, quite nice. So let's begin to get ourselves into position. We're going to do 2 minutes on the other side, and we're going to start that in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay, over that front knee. Again, it's going to feel tight to begin with, but you know how it will feel in 2 minutes' time. Okay, so as it begins to loosen, just let yourself sink a bit deeper. Okay, so we're coming into the final minute now. 30 seconds to go. Should be feeling quite loose now. Sink a bit deeper. 25 seconds. Five, 3, 2, 1. Gently return yourself back. We're going to go to hands and knees. From here, we're going to work on the upper back a little bit more with a kneeling version of a scapular press up. So what we want is we're going to keep our arms straight, and the movement's going to come from between the shoulder blades, where we're going to go our chest close to the floor and away from the floor. So basically we're trying to bring our chest closer and further from the floor without bending our elbows. Alright, so the movement comes from between the shoulder blades. It's quite a hard one to get the hang of. If you keep those arms straight and then try and do press ups with straight arms. Okay, let's do 5 more of those. Okay, good. Then grab a drink. We'll have a quick break. And what we're going to do is we're going to repeat that whole thing again. So the 20, 90, 90s, 2 minutes on each side. We're going to do it all again. I really want to see how nice those hips and the glutes feel on those 2-minute holds on the second time round. Okay. So in your own time, let's start working through those 90-90s again. We're going for 20 again this time. Things should definitely be feeling a bit looser now, so we can go a bit deeper over. Okay, wherever we are, let's do 4 more. Okay. And let's get ourselves set up in that 90-90 position. We're going to start it in about 15 seconds, okay? So we've got another 2 minutes on each side. So we're starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Over that front knee. Should be able to sink a bit deeper this time. Okay, that's 45 seconds gone. That's just a reminder to push ourselves a little bit deeper. You might find just shifting your position slightly or tilting your hips might get a slightly better stretch through the leg. So that's 1 minute left now. final 20 seconds on this side. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come back up to the top. We're going to take 15 seconds just to get ourselves swapped over, and we're going to go back down again on the other side, which we're going to start in 5, 3, 2, 1, over the other side. Sink down into the stretch. Let's keep pushing it. Sink a bit lower. Okay, 1 minute left. Okay, 25 seconds. Last bit of one of these today. Then we're going to back up into those scapular press ups for 10 reps. See if we can get the hang of them. Okay, 10 seconds. 5, 3, 2, 1. Okay, gently back up to the top. We're going to come over to hands and knees. Again, keeping those arms locked out straight. We're then going to try and do our press ups. So squeeze those shoulder blades. Okay, a couple more. And then come back to the middle. Grab a drink if you want one. We're going to continue on the theme of hips next. Okay, so don't worry if you can't get the hang of those press ups. Okay, so what we're going to do is from a high tall kneel, we're just going to step one foot forward, and then from there we're just going to come up into some trunk rotations and just push. Try and get around as far as you can, but not using momentum. Okay, good. And then from there we're going to get the same arm forward as the leg that's forward. That was poorly explained. We're going to bring the other hand up as well, and on the open side of the hip then we're just going to rotate that arm around 180 degrees, and as we get to the pointing backwards, actually you probably will feel a bit of stretch through sort of groin of that front leg. So let's do 4 more of those. Okay, and once they're done, we're going to step the other leg up. We're going to go into those rotations. Couple more, then bring that hand forwards, open up. more of those. Okay, lovely. Then we're going to go back into the first leg. We're going to walk our foot slightly further forward, and we're going to move them between pushing forwards into a long lunge and coming backwards into that position there with the rear leg bent, front leg straight. If you need to put your hands down, that's no problem at all. So pushing forwards, coming back. You might not be able to get that leg straight, that's fine, get to wherever you can. Forwards and back. Ooh, it's a crunchy knee. Okay, couple more. Okay, then we're going to change sides. This is where I find out whether it was the knee or whether it's this new rug that's crunching. Let's hope it's the rug. Alright, let's work through. Ooh, no, it's definitely the knee. Okay, pushing forwards, coming back, nice controlled movement. One more. Okay, then we're going to come back to hands and knees. Nice and square on the hands and knees then. We're going to bring our left foot up to the outside of our left hand. If you find it more comfortable, then put that hand on top of the foot and grab it, or just keep it to the floor. Then we're going to raise that rear knee just a centimetre off the floor, and we're just going to do some circles with that rear knee. Alright, then circles in the other direction, and then just go for it and just work around, not necessarily doing circles, but just move around in that position, just moving into any tight spots. Okay, drop that knee to the floor. The hand that's on the side of the forward foot is then going to rotate, so we look and point towards the ceiling and down again. So the hand that's on the side of the front foot leaves the floor and comes up to point and look towards the ceiling. 2 more of those, and then return yourself back to a nice square hands and knees. And then we're going to repeat on the other side. So in this case for me, right foot comes up the outside of right hand, rear knee off the floor by about a centimetre, start drawing those circles. Good. And circles in the other direction. Start becoming aware of where's tight, and then just move into those when we go on our free range of moving around in that hip. Okay, good, a little bit longer. Drop that rear knee to the floor, then hand that's on the same side as the front foot comes up, rotates, looking and pointing towards the ceiling and down. Let's do 6. Then we can get out of this god awful position then. 3 more reps. There we go.